I came to Discovery back in the Jonah series, and I came about because a coworker of mine suggested this church after hearing that I'd been searching for one in the area. And since then, I've definitely grown in my faith, definitely deepened my relationship, not just with Christ, but with others as well.
My wife and I started going to Discovery about 4 years ago, maybe 4.5. We had tried a couple other churches, and we were just looking around and for something a little bit different with friends of ours. And we tried Discovery Church when it was at the high school, and really liked it. It was a little bit different. It wasn't your typical church, and you have to sit in the right place and wear the right things. It kind of was more about real life, and we enjoyed that part of it.
My husband Randy and I moved to Greenville back in March of 2006. We both grew up knowing Jason and Laura through our church, and had been in Jason's youth group, and came to Greenville right before Discovery launched. Just really excited to get to be a part of it.
I started coming to Discovery Church back whenever they first launched to South Central High School. Whenever they decided to launch, they sent out postcards to the residents of Winterville and Greenville. I got the first postcard that said, "I dare you to come to Discovery Church." Then they sent a double dog dare you, and finally a triple dog dare you. So after we got the triple dog dare you, my wife and I decided to see what this Discovery Church was all about.
Several years ago, I was in class, or on my way to class, and needed something to eat and was running really, really late. And one of my classmates said, "Go out in the courtyard, they're handing out Pop-Tarts." So I walked out to the courtyard, and sure enough, it was Discovery Church handing out Pop-Tarts. So I was provided something very practical that I needed right at that very moment. I didn't recognize it was a God moment at that time, but obviously that was placed in my path for a reason.
One of the things I love about Discovery Church is just the really genuine sense of how real people are. My favorite time where I got to see that lived out was probably the very first year that we did our big Easter egg hunt. It was just really awesome. Kind of just the anxiousness that day of not knowing if anyone was going to come or what was going to happen. And I just remember seeing cars just coming and coming and coming.
For me, Discovery's greatest strength is in their ability to do things right. For example, one of Discovery's things that they do right is they reach out to the community, and they do this by having numerous events throughout the year. Discovery has touched so many lives and changed so many people's lives, and I don't even think that they know half the things that they do.
One of the things I really like about Discovery Church is the way that we relate to other people in the church, and that the fact that we have to tear down and set up, I think that makes for a stronger congregation.
Since I started attending Discovery, I actually got saved. It led to my salvation, and probably the biggest decision I've ever made in my life. I grew up in the church but didn't really understand a lot about it, and was open to asking questions and getting answers and real life opportunities.
My faith has grown, and it's amazing for even my family back home up in Maine to see that the church I'm at now has done so much for me. It's impressive to my father. He came down this past Christmas, and some of the events that we'd been doing, he was astounded that we had the ability and the churches we could work with. He was very impressed with everything.
For me, it's very important to develop relationships with non-believers. For my wife and I, we have many friends who are non-believers. We've intentionally continued to develop relationships with them and with others. One of my best friends in particular is a non-believer, and if I would have started to try to tell him about God right when I first met him, he probably would have been unreceptive to it. But over the years, I've developed a relationship with him, and he's grown and started asking questions about God and what I believe.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of Discovery Church. It has definitely changed my life for the better.